If I could summarize the type of training philosophy I love the most into one line, it would be jacked and run half marathons. I freaking love it. And honestly, every person that I've helped achieve this goal would agree with me. Like, it just meshes with life so much. It's not overwhelming. You just have a great flow. It's fun. It's exciting. There's always something to improve and something to go after. It's broad enough that you can explore a lot of different styles of races, whether that's trail or road. And then, you're still prioritizing lifting. So you're going to look great. You're going to feel great. You're going to perform great. It's just great. And so by the end of this video, I'm going to give you the entire blueprint that you can follow to achieve this type of outcome. I hope you're excited. Let's get into it. So we got to start with the getting jacked part. And honestly, this is the more difficult of the two. I mean, depending on your fitness ability, you might be able to go and run a half marathon right now. It just might not be that enjoyable. So we'll get to that in a second, but let's focus on the getting jacked part. I am not going to mislead you. Getting jacked is a long process. And I think this is overlooked in the whole hybrid fitness space, thinking that you can just get an amazing physique over the course of a year or 2 years. The truth is, if you want a really solid, mind-boggling physique, you're going to need to prioritize strength training for a long time. But the cool thing about the training plan I'm going to lay out for you is that it balances strength and endurance so that at multiple times throughout the year, you can prioritize one or the other, but not necessarily abandon the other. But more on that later. Oh, I'm bouncing around too much. We got to lock in. So, step one to getting jacked is to actually get lean. I mean, you want to give your body the perfect runway, if you will, to build a nice, strong foundation with muscle. And in order to do that, you want to get rid of some of that fat. I'm not calling you fat. I want to make that clear. But we want to lose some of the excess body fat. It's also going to make running way more fun. So you're going to want to put yourself in a moderate calorie deficit. If you're tracking calories, that looks like 500 calories per day. So calculate what your total daily energy expenditure is, subtract 500, and stick to that. If you don't want to track calories, you could try something like the 3-2-1 method. Honestly, a great starting place is to click the link in the description of this video and download my 7-day free fat loss Kickstarter, which will outline a very basic protocol to getting things going. Now, once we're in a caloric deficit, how do we want to train? Well, when it comes to strength training, I really love 3 days a week. You can go 4 or 5. Some crazy people will go 6. I was one of those people. But the truth is, it's largely unnecessary if your goals are just to add some muscle and look good with your shirt off. So stick with 3 days a week because that's going to allow you to still fit in the running aspect. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can program 3 days a week strength training. You could do a push-pull legs, or you could do 3 total body days. Personally, the split that I really enjoy and that I have a lot of my clients do is kind of a hybrid. So it's 2 total body days, and then the third day is an upper body day where I'm hitting the upper body muscle groups that I'm not hitting nearly as often during those total body days. Am I out of focus? All right, so now we know how we can get jacked. You're going to want to do everything I just said continuously. Now for the running the half marathon part. The first thing you're going to want to do is put a date on the calendar. Because let me tell you, when you start running, whether you have a background in lifting or you're complete newbie, running is a different beast. And I'm not going to lie to you, you might not enjoy it in the beginning. It's going to be hard. But hey, when you're new to something, it's bound to be hard. So having a date on the calendar that you're building towards is a great form of accountability. So I would recommend finding a race that's like 4 to 6 months down the road. Give yourself a nice long runway to build. And once you have that, you're going to want to get 3 days of running in addition to your 3 days of strength. Now, you're going to want 2 of these runs to be extremely easy. You don't necessarily need to worry about heart rate right now. What I would focus on is just making it feel like you can keep going for a long period of time. So if your aerobic capacity just isn't quite there yet, this might mean you're doing a run walk. Doing something like 3 minutes of easy running, 1 minute of walking will keep the intensity low and allow you to build your endurance over time. So 2 of your runs are going to be super easy. The third run, you can start including some fun, spicy interval workouts. I think a fartlek style is a great starting place. Now, in the early stages of your running, I would put the cap on like 30 minutes. If you're doing 30-minute runs for the first 1 to 2 months, you're going to be in a great spot to start building towards the inevitable half marathon distance. But the thing I want to really hit home is that 2 of these runs need to be super easy. If you go out and hit all of your runs as hard as you can and you're lifting 3 days a week, you are going to be absolutely wrecked. And that's not the point of this training split. The whole point is that it meshes well with life. It has a good overall balance so that you're feeling great week in and week out. Now, to go back to something I mentioned before, this training split is perfect to prioritize different goals throughout the year. So let's say it's winter and you're really not super into running nearly as much as you're into lifting. Well, you can still do 3 days of lifting, 3 days of running, but maybe all of your runs now are super easy. It's more of like a run walk. You're not pushing pace. You're not trying to go further. You're more so just keeping running at maintenance. And on the flip side, you're putting more of your time and energy into your lifts and making sure that they're quality because you want to build muscle, let's say. So you do that for 3 or 4 months, you put on some solid mass, and then come springtime, you're like, you know what? I want to put another race on the calendar and I want to make the running more of the emphasis. You scale back your lifting volume. You're still lifting 3 days a week, so you're not missing out or losing any of your gains. You're just maintaining, and you put more of the emphasis on the quality of your runs. And yeah, that's why I love this style of training split, is because at any given time, you can kind of dial up or dial down what the priorities of the training split are, but you're not going to just completely lose out on your gains because you're changing the split entirely. So if you stay consistent with this for multiple years, I'm telling you, you will reach the ultimate goal of being jacked and running half marathons. And I look forward to seeing you out on that race course because it's just so much fun. See you later.